the grim-dark future where there is only war. But soon there will be a definitive way to experience it. After over 20 years, Relic Entertainment is bringing back Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War with a brand new definitive edition. Originally released back in 2004, Dawn of War was a game changer for real-time strategy, blending brutal combat with strategic depth. Now this cult classic is being reimagined for modern systems with 4K visuals, enhanced gameplay and full mod support. Whether you're a long-time commander or a newcomer to the 40k universe, the definitive edition promises to reignite the passion of veterans and bring new players into the fold. Hey everyone, my name's Tom from LT Gaming, where we dive deep into strategy, indie gems and the games that get the mechanics right. If that's your kind of thing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the conversation in the comments below. Released all the way back in 2004, Dawn of War was really something of a game changer. Now back then, most RTS games were all about managing resources, building bases, and well, you know, the usual. But Dawn of War took a totally different approach. It put the focus squarely on squads and tactical combat, and it worked. Instead of having to micromanage vast armies, you were controlling small, specialised squads that could use cover, gain special abilities, and you really felt the weight of battle. It was smart, and the maps weren't just about resource gathering, they were about holding key positions, timing your attacks, and being in the right place at the right time. It made every battle feel tense and strategic, rather than just a race to build the biggest base. Then of course came the expansions. Winter Assault brought in the Imperial Guard. Dark Crusade introduced that fantastic meta map campaign where you fought for control of entire planets. And Soulstorm added even more factions into the mix. Each expansion felt like it built on what Dawn of War did best, giving players more ways to conquer, defend and outwit their opponents. And if you were part of the modding community, you were in for a treat. The modding tools were robust and the fan base didn't waste time in getting creative. From custom factions to entirely new campaigns, Dawn of War kept on growing long after its official updates, thanks to a dedicated community. So whether you were charging in with the Space Marines, sneaking around with the Eldar, or just flooding the map with orcs, Dawn of War gave you a genuine sense of control over your forces. It was a game that set a new standard for tactical RTS combat. So what really makes the definitive edition stand out in 2025? Because let's face it, remasters are everywhere these days. But when they're done right, they're not just a quick nostalgia grab. Take Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition for example. It didn't just get a fresh coat of paint, it got a whole new lease on life. We're talking refined balance, extra content, and a level of polish that brought it kicking and screaming into modern times, all while keeping the original charm intact. And that's the key here, preserving what made the original so iconic, while upgrading the experience for today's players. Dawn of War's Definitive Edition I'm hoping is going to do just that. 4K visuals, revamped lighting and smoother performance. Yes, it's going to look stunning, but hopefully it's going to be more than just eye candy. For me, it's about making sure that the tactical combat, that feeling of control over your squads, remains as sharp and intense as ever. So a remaster that's true to its roots, but with the perks of modern tech. Now that is something I can get excited about. In 2025, definitive editions aren't just about reliving the past. They're about taking everything that made these games timeless and giving them the polish they deserve. For Dawn of War, it's the thrill of those original explosive battles, along with the precision of today's technology. It shouldn't just be a remaster, it should be the next chapter in an enduring legacy. Now let's talk about what's actually going to be added to the definitive edition to make it stand out. First up, the obvious, a serious visual overhaul. We're talking full 4K support, upscale textures and lighting effects so sharp they're going to make you feel like you're in the action. Next, there's the user interface. The HUD's been revamped for widescreen displays, and while that might sound like a minor tweak, trust me, this is a game changer if you go back and play the original. Suddenly the action will feel more immersive. The camera system's been fine-tuned too, so you're not just going to observe the battle from the sidelines, you'll be right in the thick of it, making those quick tactical calls when it counts. And speaking of tactical decisions, modders are going to be in heaven. The game will now run on 64-bit engine, meaning there's far more room for custom content. Expect a resurgence of fan-made factions, maps and campaigns. It's not just about adding new toys, it's about giving the community all the tools they need to shape the game's future. This won't hopefully just be a remaster, it will be a platform for creativity to keep it alive and kicking. Multiplayer will be getting a much needed refresh as well, so expect smoother online play, and yes, there's even going to be talk about some new co-op modes. Details are still a bit under wraps on this, but the definitive edition is all about making sure that both the solo and multiplayer experiences are seamless and enjoyable as possible and brought up to the modern times. So hopefully no frustrating lag or connection issues like we used to have back in the day. Let's not forget the new content. While we're not getting an entirely new campaign, there's definitely going to be fresh units and who knows, maybe a few surprises for the die-hard fans who'd thought they'd seen it all. There's always room for a little bit more destruction on a Dawn of War battlefield. So LT gamers, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War Definitive Edition is shaping up to be a stellar return to a classic that changed the RTS landscape. Enhanced visuals, improved performance and full mod support. This isn't just going to be about reliving the past. This will give both old and new players a fresh way to experience those tactical squad based battles we all loved. What's making this remaster especially exciting for me is the dedication Relic is showing to the Dawn of War community. Whether it's bringing back classic gameplay or providing modders with more tools than ever, the definitive edition is promising to continue the legacy of innovation that made the original so special. So whether you are a seasoned veteran or you're just going to start your journey into the 40k universe, the definitive edition is going to be one to keep an eye on. If you haven't already, make sure to wishlist it on Steam or GOG and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure there's plenty I've missed, and this will hopefully be the first video in a few that I have on this topic. As always, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye now.